So welcome back to DecoyNoise, where I'm covering another story over in r/relationships in me, a 29-year-old female, with my partner, a 30-year-old male. Weight loss tracking? Intrusive? So as always, I take the story and I read it in its entirety, then I rush it over to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction. I read over some of the top comments and the controversial comments, then I read your comments down below. Let's go ahead and get to the story right now. So OP wrote, "My partner is trying to lose weight. Disclaimer, I didn't suggest it and I genuinely don't care what size he is, except that it's making him feel insecure. However, he is resolutely in denial about weight loss actually requires eating less. He's convinced that if he adds tomatoes to everything, it'll boost his metabolism, stuff like that, but won't consider cutting his portions or tackling his crisp and Pepsi habit. On some level, I suspect food is a comfort that he's reluctant to give up. So as an experiment, for the past 2 weeks, I've been noting down everything he's consumed and calculating the total calories. The idea was to show him to show him exactly what he's really eating and how it's more than he realizes. The reason I didn't tell him beforehand is the knowledge of observation would change his behavior and the results, but now I'm actually wondering if I'm being creepy and intrusive, not helpful. Should I just delete the list and let him figure things out on his own? Too long didn't read. Unsure if a well-intentioned help is in fact creepy." So as always, I take the case and I rush it over to Decoy Court. I don't know why I'm judging these strangers online, but I guess, to put my feedback on the situation is, it really just depends on how this information is being delivered. Like, I understand the idea is, it would probably be a more, they're in their 30s pretty much, and a more adult way to go about this would be, hey, maybe we should create a food diary just to show, like, hey, a lot of people don't understand that, a Starbucks unicorn frap or a can of soda, that can oftentimes be the same amount of calories of a Chipotle burrito, and they don't realize that, before lunch, they've already consumed the equivalency of the heaviest meal of the day for most people. So we're probably concerned with, hey, if I tell them I'm tracking them, they'll probably start eating in secret, which is just going to deeply, if they're already eating just out of as like a security blanket type of thing, it's just going to push them more into like a hidden eating type of thing. So they just wanted to see it as, in their natural habitat type of situation. And with this over here, it's just, if they deliver this information as a, hey, you didn't lose any weight, well, that kind of sucks. Well, I've kind of been tracking it. Did you realize that you're consuming X amount of calories instead of that many calories? And that's the problem. Like, even if you have tomatoes, or even if you have you do intermittent fasting or anything that's like, the Instagram and the YouTube and the Facebook short little clips will say, like, or the little infographic saying, oh, this is how you lose weight because it's just you're not having enough fiber, you're not having this or that. Just any of those things that are just trying to promote some sort of product, sell you something, make you have a membership to something, or just subscribing or clicking on something that's essentially clickbait, that's just not there to help you actually accomplish your goal. It's there to profit off of you. And if they're just like, okay, let's give you some hard facts, as opposed to the feel-goodery that is essentially those motivational speeches about weight loss, that would make sense, where they're actually trying to, like, get down to the nuts and bolts of weight loss, as opposed to whatever whatever is telling them adding a tomato to every dish is going to make you lose weight. From a nice way, from a supportive girlfriend way. Like, I don't care how much you weigh, but here's why you're not hitting your goals. Like, nothing would be more frustrating than trying really hard to change your life and getting nowhere and feeling like, oh man, I am trapped in this life forever. I'm trapped in my body. Oh my God, I feel helpless. That would be very, very hard to watch your significant other go through that type of constant disappointment. So as long as it's coming from the right place, being supportive and trying to help them out, learning the facts and the truth about the world, cool, but not if it was just like, ha, yeah, you didn't lose weight, well, here's all the calories rate, hey, check out, are you opening up another soda right now? Well, using it almost as a way to bully them as opposed to support them, that would be the negative way. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this person right here is just, not the antagonist, and also probably a bit of no antagonist here. The boyfriend is seeing that they have an issue in their life and they're trying to better themselves and trying to feel more healthy. Good on them for even trying it. It's not their fault that they probably only have exposure to, weight loss with some small Instagram video that's saying, hey, add a tomato to every dish and lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, like something like that. Hey, subscribe for more information just like that. It can be easy, or something that's, misleading them. Hey, they're a victim of what our social media is right now. And OP, as long as it's coming from the right place, they're also not the antagonist, because maybe they're even second guessing their good intentions on the internet. So that should probably tell you more about their life than anything else. But as always, we'll take a short break before we hit those top comments and the controversial comments, because I want to hear what you guys are thinking. If you like the Decoy Court, judging random strangers online in this, different phase of Decoy Noise, let me know. But let's go ahead and get to those top comments right now. So the top comment was, your intentions were constructive, not malicious, but you're right that it will feel intrusive. It will definitely make him feel attacked and defensive and overwhelmingly undermine anything positive you were trying to achieve. Awesome job recognizing that and asking for outside opinions. So one thing I'll say here is, yes, good job for asking outside opinions, but the idea is like this didn't help at all. This was just, yeah, you're doing a good job, but they're gonna feel attacked, so don't do it. So then what's the solution to this? It's like, I feel like the sad part is the solution to this is just, everybody putting on their big boy pants and saying, hey, sometimes doing better is going to hurt. Sometimes trying to change your life is going to be, harsh, and not everything can be kind of served you through this very mommy and daddy making everything feel better for you. It's got to be harsh. Like me, I don't know, would be a thing that, oh my God, Decoy, your hair looks terrible and it's the stupidest haircut ever. That would probably be the only thing that would motivate me to kind of change the way I'm doing things. But it couldn't ever come from, hey, so do you like what you're doing with your hair now? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, it's never gonna resonate with somebody unless you kind of I'm being bullied by somebody or whatever. I know it's a terrible analogy, but sometimes the painful truth has to come from a loved one. If a stranger on the street just yelled at me like, hey Decoy, your hair looks dumb, I'd be like, yeah, well, F you too, buddy. Like, that would be the thing. But if it came through, somebody I was dating for a long period of time that just has seen me through thick and thin and said, hey, look, I don't know, your hair's kind of dumb, like, you gotta change it, I could see that resonating more. But let's go ahead and get to the next top comment right now, saying, I'd be extremely freaked out if my significant other did this. I think you should delete the list if you want to suggest that they track calories. Show him an app for doing it and say, hey, you might want to try this. And that honestly would probably be the better way to go about it, saying, hey, here's an easier way to go about it, maybe being more like, not treating their significant other as a toddler or an infant, saying, I don't trust you to accurately track your calories, so let's go ahead and do this for you. I'm going to take this off your plate. But the one thing I would say is, we don't only get a small glimpse of what OP's life is, and they say, they have a problem with soda and crisp, which is, I'm guessing, just like, soda and potato chips. So we don't know the extent of it. Like, if I think of someone that has a problem with soda and potato chips, I think of one of those lunch bag sized potato chips and maybe a can of soda, and then having one a day. And that's like, oh man, they really have an addiction, because I am very self-aware. I have an addiction with soda and potato chips. Like, I like them and I probably consume them way too often. But if this OP story is just trying to be nice to their significant other, and it's not just a little snack size of soda and potato chips, it's like a 2-liter bottle before lunch and a 2-liter bottle when they get home, and also multiple bags of potato chips a day. Now, that would be kind of on the higher end of a soda and chip consumption, but we really don't know what it is, and only OP does, because they're in this situation. So, us saying, hey, maybe they're not a secret eater, maybe they are, this would be more on OP's side. So I do like the idea that, the top comments over here telling me that I'm wrong, and I understand why I could be wrong and how somebody could take it horrendously bad if someone started tracking their calories, because I honestly feel like if someone was secretly counting how much I ate and trying to shove it in my face later on, I'd be like, yo, why'd you do that? Stop body shaming me right now. I feel weird about it. But if it was someone like a loved one that's saying, hey, look, I know you're trying to lose weight, I want to support you, did you realize that you're doing it from the wrong end? This I feel would be more in line with me going to the gym and just doing, man, I want to get a bigger chest and shoulder workout, and I'm sitting there doing I don't know, using the cable machine, instead of doing a deadlift from arching my back and standing straight up, I was just jerking my back up and down and doing the workouts the wrong way, damaging myself in the long run. I would think that a loved one should come up to me and say, hey, did you know you're doing it wrong? And I feel like that would be a better, more constructive thing. But as always, let me know what you guys are thinking down below. If you like the whole Decoy Court on things that aren't asking for advice, when I'm just shoving my opinion down their throat, who cares if they want it or not? But as always, if you like that stuff, make sure you subscribe down below with the notifications on. You check out Decoy Court if you want to see a more silly take on things. It's going to be animated, it's going to be terrible, but the link's in the description if you want to subscribe to that as well. But if nothing else, go ahead and put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise coming up next.